Hello there, and welcome back to more Final Fantasy VI. Last time, we explored the ancient castle, which sort of stands as a relic of the past, representing the previous War of the Magi. And we obtained some interesting goodies there, including some powerful relics and a useful new magicite in the form of Raiden. But today, we are going to be finally beginning our last little bit of cleanup before we take on Kefka in his tower. Now, I say that, but we still have a decent chunk to go. But we're going to be kind of taking a big bite out of it today, so to speak, by tracking down the various dragons that I have been sort of ignoring, along with one extra powerful foe. Now, this is the main reason why I try to avoid fighting as many dragons as possible, because I kind of wanted to give them their own episode, so that if you are looking for where exactly all of them are, they can all be kind of in this one singular episode. Now, despite this, I will not be able to cover every single dragon's location, as 2 out of the 8 of them are actually locked inside of Kefka's tower. So unless I want to go into the last dungeon and deal with them as well in this episode, which I'm not going to do, I will only be able to give you information on where 6 of the 8 dragons' locations are. Now, if you've been following along with this playthrough, you already know where one of them was, which was the Phoenix Cave. I took that one down, and I'll go ahead and show some footage real quick of me taking down that boss fight while I'm talking and flying around, just to show you where it is and where you can go to find it and how to deal with it. But a big chunk of today's episode is going to be focused on taking down the remaining 5 dragons that I have current access to. And we're going to be kind of going in a interesting order. I'm going to be kind of just going off of vibes, as I kind of want to face off against certain dragons with certain compositions, to not only showcase characters that haven't really gotten a lot of screen time, but to also just make the fights a little bit more interesting. None of these dragons are really all that difficult. So, for our first dragon encounter, I'm going to be bringing Mog, Umaro, Shadow, and Gogo. Now, Mog and Gogo specifically haven't gotten a lot of screen time in the World of Ruin, so of course I want to put them on here. Umaro isn't really going to be present that much longer in the playthrough, as he's beginning to run out of his usefulness. Now, obviously, he'll be useful for the dragon's neck, but if I had to pick people to go into a party, Umaro's absolutely not going to be on the top of my list. And I like Shadow, and I kind of want to showcase a Shadow and Gogo duo, because I think it looks cool. So, they're going to be our main party, and we're going to be heading back to Narshe. Now, we ventured to Narshe not too long ago, and we did see, as I've actively pointed out, there is a dragon near where we had defended Banon and Valley Gormanda against Kefka. So we've got to make our way back up through the mountain and head that way, as that'll be where our first dragon of the day is. Now, none of these dragons really warrant their own, boss HP stat slide that I've usually been doing. However, some of them still have some very useful steals, so I'll make sure to notify you of their steals as a little visual in the video. But other than that, I'm not really going to be focusing on giving you direct strategies in a written form like I usually do for most bosses. Instead, I'm just going to be kind of saying, well, they're weak to this element, you can use that element, you can use shields to nullify against their major attacks, but otherwise, most of these dragons have a pretty standard game plan. And for our first dragon of today, we're going up against, if he would let me, there we go. We're going up against the Ice Dragon. Now, it's obvious, weak to fire. The Ice Dragon doesn't have any real steals, so don't worry about any of that. Northern Cross is pretty strong, but thankfully, we have some very useful ice shields, unless I get frozen there, which is not good. Thankfully, I don't have to worry about any issues with Umaro, because, well, he's a beast. And Snow Scarf kind of makes him immune to pretty much every form of water/ice damage. So while we wait for everyone to kind of defrost a little bit, we can just kind of have Umaro auto-battle here for us. This is not exactly how I planned for this to go, but honestly, I'm not against this either. There's the character toss with the frozen sculpture of Mog. Okay, now we are finally free to act. We can go ahead and start throwing a Fuma Shuriken. We can use Mimic with Go-Go. Fuma Shuriken. We can then mimic that Fuma Shuriken toss to deal some pretty good damage. Now, I don't really see a reason to try and get Umaro up here, Mog up here, as I don't really think it's that useful, and I'm not really trying to learn anything with Mog, so him being down is fine. As soon as we get out of being frozen, we can literally just immediately wail on him with more Fuma Shurikens. In fact, Umaro did quite a bit of damage initially, which I was very impressed by. Again, Ice Magic isn't going to do anything to us because of just how potent the Ice Shields are in Snowscarf is. We can go to use Fuma Shurikens and auto-battle this. Hopefully we don't get frozen by any of his remaining attacks. We can mimic this. The evasion on our characters is just insane. There we go, and the Ice Dragon goes down. Nothing really too crazy about this boss. If you really want to, bring magic casters with fire magic and deal powerful magic damage to it ASAP. But we obtain a forced shield from this dragon. Let's take a look at that real quick. 6 dragons remaining. Well, more like 4. We're only to be taking down 5 today. Anyways, let's use Mog's corpse to check this out real quick. There it is. There's the forced shield. I have to go all the way down. So, the Force Shield is a shield that halves damage from multiple elements. Automatically casts Shell on the wearer, which is pretty good. Magic defense plus 70, magic evasion plus 50. It is more of a magic-focused defense shield. It's kind of similar to the Genji shield, which is very physical-focused, though it does have some pretty decent magic defense as well. If you lack a lot of magic defense or magic evasion, the Force Shield is not a bad idea. Anyways, I'm going to go heal up, and then I'm going to outfit my team and move on to the next dragon. Our next dragon has us traveling all the way back to Mount Zozo, where we first began our journey searching for our friends. This one was something that I made sure to actively point out and avoid because I didn't really want to deal with it. Also, again, amazing sprite work. Just gotta ogle about it again. Anyway, this dragon is based around lightning, so we're going to have to either deal some pretty strong lightning damage or just hit it with some powerful standard attacks. I just went right over where I need to be going. But there's a save point right here, which is very nice. But if you push this button right here, it opens up a chest, opening up this dragon, which we kind of need to, it's kind of going sporadic here, but if we run into it, it begins the battle with the Storm Dragon. Here we go. Alright, so our main gimmick here is we're just going to be kind of healing up with Gao. Now, Mog didn't really get to do much last time, so I've decided to bring him back along so we can actually try to, use him properly. And Edgar is running the Master Scroll, so let's see what he can do with that fixed dice build. There's Phantom Rush, which is obviously going to do a crap load of damage, thankfully. Physical attack on Sabin, decent damage. Fixed dice, okay. Decent damage. Decent damage. Good damage. Oh, look at that, dude. Really good rolls there. Got some okay jumps on Mog there. He only got 2 jumps, which is really unfortunate. There's Wind Slash again, which is going to do some okay damage. Gao, unfortunately, doesn't have a lot of HP, but because of his immunities, he's going to be perfectly okay. This Phantom Rush should actually be enough. If not, Setzer should be able to clean this up with some decent rolls. Okay, not great, not great. Okay, some okay rolls, but that was enough to deal with it. See what I like about that? It allows Setzer to still be kind of like the gambler of the team, but it allows him to have a much higher chance of actually getting high rolls and dealing some pretty respectable damage. I like this build a lot. And while it is definitely not the best use of the Master Scroll in terms of like trying to get maximum damage, and in my opinion, it is the most fun way of using it. 5 dragons remaining, but for us, it's only 3 more left. This next dragon has us revisiting the ancient castle, and already so soon, huh? I have swapped around my team a little bit more. We have Locke, Terra, Cayenne, and Strago now. Locke is going to be running the Master Scrolls Genji Glove build with the Lightbringer and Valiant Knife, though I am tempted to go back and forth on whether or not I want to run the Ultima weapon, but because the Lightbringer also has a chance of casting Holy, I thought maybe potentially getting that extra effect off is pretty nice, despite the fact that the Lightbringer won't be doing as much damage due to the Master Scroll's damage fall off. But that's up to interpretation. Terra is running her standard build, but she is also bringing the Soul of Themasa so she can play Utility Caster and then immediately swap over to doing a crapload of damage if she wanted to. Cayenne is going to be running the Murakumo with the Hyperiston Hero's Ring, so he can be doing powerful Bushido damage. And Strago is going to be kind of our de facto healer, running Hermes Sandals and Gold Hairpins, so his heals are fairly cheap, and he can also provide Grand Delta if we really need to. And he's going to be acting as fast as possible thanks to the Hermes Sandals. Now down here, we actually have the dragon that is named after one of my favorite Square Enix titles of all time, actually. And if he'll let me fight him, it is the Blue Dragon. Here we go. Tsunami, starting off immediately with a powerful attack. Let's go ahead and use Kiraga to heal everyone up. And then we can have Locke go ahead and attack, and we can set up a Bushido, we'll set up Tempest. And then we can have Terra go ahead. Oh, he's casting slow on himself. Oh, okay. We can cast Hastiga. And then, ooh, there's Rippler. We don't want that. Status effects exchanged. Ooh, okay. Well, then we can cast, we can see the heavy damage right there. Let's cast Slow on Blue Dragon. We can see the flurry of attacks right there. They aren't doing too much damage because Block is fairly healthy, but I'm okay with that. Tempest is going to be doing a lot of damage here, as we can see. Quite a bit of damage here. There's Acid Range. It's going to be doing some decent damage. We're going to have Strago go ahead and heal. And then we can have Locke on the offense once more. Same thing with Cayenne over here. Hastiga is going to allow us to speed up. And then we can slow down the Blue Dragon itself. Blue Dragon is such a good game. I know. I kind of want to stay on topic, but man, Blue Dragon doesn't get a lot of appreciation. It's a really good game. It's kind of sad that it's stuck on the Xbox 360, though. We can go ahead and switch over to dealing some pretty decent damage with Terra if need be. The Blue Dragon, if memory serves, is weak to lightning magic, so we can use that to our advantage. We don't want the status dots to be ticking for too long, so we need to be ready to go on the offense here. And also heal up our party. Tempest is kind of slow there, but Terra's Thundagas here should be enough to take down the enemy. 8,500 damage, yep, perfect. And there we go, another dragon down. However, even though there isn't anything valuable to steal from the Blue Dragon, there is actually something for us here. Well, one, we learned Tsunami and Rippler, which is very nice, but also we obtained the Zantetsuken, which, if you don't remember, is actually the name of Odin's powerful ability that was able to cleave most enemies in two. Now, let's go ahead and heal up a little bit, and then let's take a look at that weapon. The Zantetsuken, a sword that may randomly dispatch an enemy in one hit. Now, this is actually a similar instant kill weapon to, like, the Ichigeki and whatnot. However, for some reason, the Zantetsuken actually just works better than most of these instant kill weapons. It's just built different, as the kids would say nowadays, I think. But anyways, this is going to be kind of Cayenne's, like, main go-to weapon. This is his, like, best weapon, and now we've gotten it, which is a big reason why I brought him here to obtain it himself. But anyways, I'll see you back at the next location with a new team. Alright, our next destination is actually the Cultist's Tower. Now, I have brought Gogo back for another run-through, but this time with a full-on magic build. Now, Celeste is going to be here primarily, now because if we can only use magic here, Celeste is not going to be running the Lightbringer as her main weapon, but it is still on her as a stat stick, more or less. But generally speaking, everyone here is going to be casting magic. Celeste will be providing utility, Relm and Gogo will be our main damage dealers, and Gal will be providing healing. That's kind of what I've got planned for this segment. Hold up. Real quick, I forgot to actually put on the magic ability for Gogo before entering into the Cultist's Tower, so they literally have nothing but Mimic. I noticed this when we got into the fight, but I just decided to try to kind of challenge myself to see if I could actually complete the fight without the proper Gogo setup. So yeah, Gogo's kind of a sitting duck for this segment. Make sure you actually go into the status menu and equip your characters properly beforehand. But oh boy, do we have a bit of a climb. I like that the transition here, whenever you go from the first screen to this screen, it's like, it feels like it's cut out a lot of actual climbing, that the Cultist Tower, my bad. The Cultist Tower is actually a lot taller than we give it credit for. I mean, it's 39 floors, apparently? That's a lot, man. That's a lot. Now, I don't think it's this screen right here. I don't think it's this room, is it? No, it's not. It's not this one. We have to keep going up. It's one of these rooms. I think it's actually either the second to last room or it is the last room before you reach the top. It's one of those. But yeah, our next dragon is located here. I kind of had to, like, you know, squeak my way around it since when I was trying to grab loot. Ah, there you are, the 26th floor. Which one are you? You are the Holy Dragon. Now, again, our strategy really won't change all that much in terms of, like, what we're actually going to be doing. But we're going to be casting dual cast stuff. And let's go ahead and provide... Oh, I guess we should probably raise our boy here, because he's honestly pretty underleveled. So... Ooh, wait, is Gogo going to mimic Rez? I hope not, but... They probably will, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. The holy spam here from the Holy Dragon, which, you know, makes sense, is a little annoying, but honestly speaking, we shouldn't run into too many issues. That's a hope, at least. We need to very quickly get on the heals here. If we can do some decent healing. Alright, we're gonna have to res him again, aren't we? Yep. Raise, wait a little bit, we're gonna dual cast. See if Celeste dies, she does not. Then we can Kiraga, and then we can Thundaga, and then we can Mimic that. See if we can get some decent healing off. Realm, thankfully, is kind of an all-rounder here. Let's go ahead and see if we can get any kind of shell off on Gao here. Oh, never mind, we don't need to. Realm basically soloed that entire fight. Thank you, Realm. That was a little messy, but I guess, good job, Gao, on being the punching bag. Sorry, buddy. You didn't really get to do much that fight. But we also obtained a Holy Lance from there, which is our second one. And so we have one for Edgar, and we have one for Mog now. Awesome. Anyways, I guess I'll see you at... What will it be? Is this actually the last one? Yeah, we have one more dragon to go. At least for right now. Now, this final dragon that we have yet to come across is actually one that we haven't actually seen before in a previous episode, and takes us to one of our final destinations that we haven't explored in the World of Ruin, and that's the Opera House. Man, this brings back some good old memories, the good old days before the world went to shit. Oh, this is no good at all. Please, go talk to the Impresario. Oh, no, what is it now? I didn't bring Celeste with me, I brought a Yeti with me instead. I mean, maybe Strago could perform well as Maria? Hopefully we don't have to recite that. Actually, now that we kind of get, like, free reign of looking around the theater, what can we do? Oh, hey, Impresario, I was just talking about you. What did you say, buddy? Can you not run away from me? I know Cesar tried to kidnap your lead, but let's talk to each other like adults, please. Oh dear, there's a dragon sitting smack in the middle of my stage. What'll I do? It seems like your audience doesn't really care, I'm gonna be frank. If there's a dragon sitting in the middle of your theater and there's still a full audience there just watching, honestly, I would just say let them cook, man. Anyways, let's go ahead and see if we can do anything about this dragon of ours. Yeah, it looks like it's performing pretty well, though it seems like the orchestra's kind of stopped. They're letting the pianist still play some ragtime, though, of course. Don't touch the wrong switch or you'll be in for a nasty surprise. I don't listen to the rules. Well, that didn't work. Or it's just one. Oh crap! Oh hey, we're back on stage. Neat. Hey there, dragon buddy. Let's take you on. This is the Earth Dragon. Very interesting enemy. Has a lot of Earth-based attacks, like Quakes, and, Quake Magnitude 8 and whatnot. So having Float is very, very useful for this encounter. We're gonna go ahead and cast Haste, and also we're gonna cast Protect on Umaro because he's currently the only one who's not fully protected or won't be untargetable for the majority of the encounter. Edgar's gonna be jumping, Strago's gonna be providing supports, Setzer's gonna be doing a lot of primary damage, and Umaro's just going to kind of be there as the star of the show, so to speak, showcasing just the power of the Yeti, you know? The audience will be in awe. Anyways, the Earth Dragon really isn't all that exciting, and this team is going to be able to do some pretty good damage. Let's go ahead and just have Akira ready to go for whenever... Oh, never mind. I'm always, like, getting ready. I'm always ready to go into the moment, but these dragons just don't have a lot of HP. Our teams are finally starting to sort of come together, and with some decent synergy like what I just showcased, you can take these guys down pretty quickly. Setzer learned Hastaga himself and Sloga. And we also obtained a Magus Rod. I always go back and forth on saying Magus and Magus, but I think Magus sounds cooler. And 2 dragons are now remaining. Looks like you saved the day for us once again. Ah, yes, Setzer saved the day once again. But, unfortunately, or fortunately, those are the last of the dragons that we can take on right now without going into Kefka's Tower. Real quick, though, I do want to look at the Magus Rod. There we go, I'm flipping. A rod that boosts its wielder's magic. Pretty useful. I mean, it's +7 magic. Quite nice. Very good on Strago. But that is it for the dragons. However, I'm not done just yet today, as there is one more target on my list that I do want to take down. But first things first, I need to make a team, and also I need to heal up. Because what we're going up against is going to be pretty dangerous. Now, for our final objective for today, we're going to be taking on the Terror of the Skies, an entity that I have briefly encountered a few times, and have basically tried my best to steer away from. Now, in order to take on what we're about to go up against, there are a few precautions you have to make. For one, they have the ability level 5 death, so make sure every single party member you have in your team does not have a level that is divisible by 5. Thankfully, no one here does. Next, this enemy has a lot of very powerful magic. Now, I am going to be running a sort of reflect ring strategy, except for Edgar. Edgar is going to be the lone wolf here, as he's going to be running the Dragoon Boots and Dragoon Horn, but every single other party member I have here is going to be running the reflect ring, as they're going to have to take the brunt of the damage here, and I don't want them to, you know, get killed. Another thing is that this enemy sometimes has to be fought multiple times, but every single time you deal damage to it, even if it runs away, you can still encounter it, and the damage you've dealt to it will persist. So it becomes more of a battle of attrition. You have to deal damage to it, it'll run away, you deal damage to it, it'll run away. Now, the way that you challenge this opponent is that it's just always randomly somewhere on the world map. And there's not really any real way of predicting where it actually is. So normally what I do is that I just go up on the airship, I turn my camera just slightly in an angle, and then I literally just hold A and let my ship accelerate until I inevitably run into whatever we're looking for. Now obviously there are better ways of doing this, but this is just kind of how I do it. And it's kind of, you know, it allows me to kind of turn off my brain and maybe do something on the side while I just hold A until suddenly I'm in a battle. But yeah, I mean, this is probably like the last big enemy that we have to deal with before we begin kind of our trek into the final preparations to begin scaling Kefka's Tower. Because after this, there's really not much else for us. There's a little bit of lore that I need to do. There's collecting lore abilities. And then other than that, we're basically just going to spend a little bit of time in the Veldt. And I'll talk about a few extra things that there's left to do. But, I mean, after that, there's not much else to do here. I have a feeling I've probably passed what I'm looking for already. And I just haven't noticed it, because we are about to loop here. I think I might have already passed it. I don't know. I haven't really been paying attention. I've just been kind of hoping that I run into it after I've been running in a straight line. I might start turning around and just actively begin looking for it. Oh, I think I see it. Aha, there you are. You little bugger. Here you go. This enemy is Death Gaze, a very iconic opponent. He is weak to fire, so chuck your best fire spells at him and he'll go down pretty quickly. We're going to immediately mimic this, and then we're going to use Setzer to attack, and then use Edgar to jump. There we go, Firaga spam, Firaga spam. We can then use Go-Go to then cast Firaga, which will do just decent damage. But because Go-Go is a perfect mimic, they will even mimic the Soul of Thamasa, which is very nice. There's death right there, but thankfully our Reflect Rings are going to deal with that pretty well. We can go ahead and mimic again. The Fixed Dice doing some pretty decent damage. Edgar hasn't even gotten the chance to jump yet. There we go, nice. Firaga again. We can go ahead and auto-battle this now. There we go, Firaga again. Another physical attack to counter the magic damage, which is fine. There's Firaga again from Go-Go, dealing some pretty decent damage. And there's the Flea. Death Gaze naturally has high defenses against both physical and magical attacks, so we won't be doing super powerful damage here. Also, see ya, Edgar. Hopefully he can land on the airship safely. Anyways, now Death Gaze has fleed to another area on the map, and we have to chase it down. See where we can go. I'm just going to kind of go sporadically and see if we can find it, just by kind of like snaking our way around the map. Maybe I can catch it in the corner of my eye. I can kind of lift the camera up a little bit. We can soar super high so we can kind of get more of the world map in our view. Oh, hello, is this it? Aha, found you in the Figaro Desert, looks like. You're not escaping us this time, Death Gaze. We're putting you down. There's level 5 death. We all dodge it. Very, very nice. We can go and mimic this, get an attack, and get a jump. Then we can auto-battle, see how fast we can get this boss down. I don't think he'll be able to flee another time. We do so much damage, even with his innate magic defense increase. I don't think Death Gaze is going to be able to live this, especially if Setzer gets some really good rolls. Not those. Okay, that's better. That's really good. And that was really bad. I think it's actually one of the worst rolls we've seen. But it doesn't matter. Death Gaze goes down. Ooh. What a nice weapon there. I just can't get enough of the Fixed Dice. I really like that weapon a lot. And for our trouble, we obtain something very interesting. Beast of Magicite fell from Death Gaze's maw. The Bahamut Magicite. Let's check it out, shall we? The Bahamut Magicite. It will use Mega Flare. Hits all enemies with a nuclear blast. 86 MP, which is pretty costly, but it's really nice. Bahamut will teach you Flare. Blasts the target with concentrated thermal explosions. This is a very, very powerful fire-based magic attack. And at level up, will give the user a 50% HP boost to their level up HP bonus. Really, really, really good Esper here. And teaches you a pretty useful spell. But I think that'll be it for today. We have covered a lot of the very strong enemies, and as I've said just a little while ago, we are going to be kind of entering the wrap-up segment of our journey here in the World of Ruin, as honestly, we have now ticked all of the major boxes. So next time on Final Fantasy VI, we're going to kind of go around the world, gain some new lore abilities, maybe pay another visit to the Dragon's Neck Coliseum, but also wrap up a story about a character that has had a very loose development throughout the entire narrative. So, with that said, I'll see you soon.